In this episode, I built this podium for this local 5K. And we're gonna figure out how this panel saw works in order to build it. And I really struggle with a new painting technique, so let's get into it. Oh, because the blade's in the same spot every time. There's only 3 spots that it cuts. Oh, I'm figuring it out. So we've talked about this briefly in some other videos, but this was the first time I actually got to use this thing, so it was a little bit of a learning curve figuring it out. What I've learned is that the way that this thing works is you have 3 positions for where the saw will go, and then all of the adjustment is made through this end stop. So you have 55 inches worth of adjustment here in the stop block. Unfortunately, it's a little bit rusty, so I will need to continue to clean it up a little bit and add some more wax or lubricant to it so that it slides nice. If you need to cut longer than 55 inches, what you can do is take this adjustment knob, slide it over, and it moves it. I believe the movement is 1 meter, though it does have imperial measurements as well. So you can add, somebody has marked on it, it looks like it adds 40 inches to your cut. We'll go back to our 0 measurement here. If you want to do a horizontal cut, a 4x8 sheet of plywood, you can slide it in. There's rollers on the bottom that you can support the piece in. There's also these pull-out adjustments that if the board is smaller than a full 4x8 sheet, you can bring the workpiece up a little bit higher so that it's easier to work with. You start with the saw at the top, you then turn this knob here and that pushes it down against the blade. It took me a minute to kind of understand how this works, but you don't have to worry about the blade being in the way of any of the stops and features because it only cuts in one of 3 positions. Piece is what's actually moving on the rollers based on your stop block. So first I had to double check to make sure I wasn't going to crash the saw into or one of these different blocks. But then I quickly realized that the only way that it moves is if you lock it into one of those 3 positions. Once the saw is pushed down, that gives some back pressure against the cutting fence so that the machine will hold the piece in place. There is still a little bit of opportunity for the board to slide to the right, so you want to make sure you're slid all the way left. But once the thing is pushed down, you can lock it into position, turn the saw on, and pull it down to go through your cut. The machine also has a little clipboard here, so once I have more of a cut list kind of thing going on, we will definitely be using that to keep track of what we're working on. Now that we understand how this machine works, let's get back to work. Sick! side, keep side, keep side. Now, this way up. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm getting myself all confused here as I'm looking at different parts, trying to figure out what I'm keeping and not keeping. We were cruising right along on this, and of course I accidentally cut the one piece backwards, so I cut below the line instead of above the line to make the little notches for the steps. So I had to remake one. Luckily, I still had enough on the panel saw that I was able to quickly redo it. So that's nice, but I would have been real upset if I would have had to spend another $30 on a sheet of plywood, or $40 or $50 or whatever it was, because that would have cost money, and that would have been really, really frustrating. So luckily I was able to save it, and I think I can use that other piece still for other parts of it if I need to make more supports. But I've got the top and 2 sides done, and now I just have to remake the other side. So we wrapped this thing up yesterday as far as the build goes, but now I need to paint it. So I got some primer that I had left over from another project that's gonna work perfectly. We've got some designs. I'm gonna use the Cricut and cut out the logos, and we're gonna use those as stencils to paint this thing on. The thing's gonna be blue with a white logo and some yellow numbers. So we'll have the 1, 2, and 3 on the front of it. Spin this around here. This table, I did put it on wheels before I moved in here, just because I figured I'd be rolling it around until I figure out a better setup for it. Just using an all-purpose interior, exterior primer. fired up the Cricut and made some numbers and the logo as a big sticker. So the logo will go right here in the center, and then the numbers will go right underneath it. What I'm gonna do is the numbers are gonna be yellow and the logo is gonna be white. So I'm gonna paint the areas the color that they're going to be, and then I'll put the sticker over the color, and then we'll have to make sure that it's stuck really, really well, make sure nothing bleeds underneath, and then we'll paint blue over top of the whole thing, and then once we remove the stickers, it should leave the color that we want. So the numbers will be yellow, the thing will be blue, and the logo will be white. I gave myself little pencil marks on where the numbers are gonna go so that I can make sure that I cover the appropriate area. So we'll start with the yellow, I think, and just work our way down. I'm probably obsessing over this like a cabinet maker, and this thing is more than fine for the local 5K that it's going to. I'm not saying that it's not nice, but you know what I mean? Like, there's a level of obsessiveness that comes along with these things that eventually you're like, come on now, it's a podium for a park, for some photos, just needs to be good. I think this is definitely gonna take a couple coats. For the white and the yellow, I just got the samples because I didn't need that much of it, and I hate keeping large amounts of paint laying around. Concerned that this is gonna go terribly, but I started to pick this off and then remembered I wasn't recording. I wanna pull these while they're still a little bit wet so that any skinning, oh, see, this is what I was worried about. Okay. Yeah, it's pulling the paint. Maybe I can just go back in with like a fine brush. See, my thought was if I do this while they're wet, maybe it won't bleed as much or tear as much. But I don't know if that's really... All right, that one turned out great. Okay, the 3's a hot mess. The 1's pretty good. Now the 2, I'm also getting yellow paint peeling up. Ah, fuck. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to go to the art store and get little brushes or something, and then go back through like a psycho and touch it all up. All right, let's do the big part first. some of it has to do with the angle in which I'm pulling. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Editing Sam here, I felt like I didn't really show a great explanation of what was going on with the paint here, so I thought I would explain a little better. I think what was happening was I was being really impatient and trying to get the paint done on this in one day. And while I did have one of those heat guns to help dry the paint in between layers, I think what happened was the paint just wasn't fully bonded to the primer. The other issue I think I was having is I just used regular vinyl decals that are more of a permanent vinyl, as permanent as vinyl can be, instead of using more like a stencil material. I then painted over the stickers with the blue, leaving a stencil kind of effect. Now I knew if I waited until the blue was completely dry that I was gonna run into issues with the paint wanting to peel and stick to that. So I waited a little bit just for it to tack up, but then I wanted to make sure that I peeled this before the blue paint was dry. So when I went to peel those stickers off, a lot of the paint was coming off with it. It wasn't completely terrible, but I definitely had some bleeding underneath, and there were some parts that the paint came off all the way down to the wood. So I ran out to the craft supply store, bought some fine like artist painting brushes, and spent a bunch of time being really meticulous and painting in all the little details that came apart. I mentioned it earlier, but it's really easy to get caught up in the details on these things, and I try really hard to make all of my projects the best that they possibly can be. There's different levels of perfect, and the fact of the matter is that this is a prop for photos and for an event. This isn't a cabinet, this isn't fine furniture, and so there has to be a line drawn somewhere. I very easily could have spent days and days more on this, but I felt like it was good enough and we have to just call it a day at some point. That's gonna be a wrap on this one. I am super happy with how this one turned out. I will leave information to the South Park 5K down below. It's coming up in the middle of October. I'll put the date right here. If you're in the area and you're a runner, I'll be there. I'm gonna try to stand on this top step, but it's probably not gonna happen. I'm really out of shape. So make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.